We need to operationalize ideas. We have a lot of ideas to solve problems of the world.
How can we build and scale the new business models, products and services, marketplaces, partnerships, and alliances that will strengthen our resilience in the areas of food security, public health and wellness, education, and social cohesion and culture?
Good evening, everyone. Okay, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the MDM Live webinar episode, Personal Transformation Toward Impact Leadership. Tonight, I am your host, Rap Ladon, MDM 2020, and currently part of Lead Management Consulting Services. Tonight, we will hear stories from our exemplar speakers from MDM Batch 2017 as their personal journey of transformation and emerge to become positive impact leaders for our society. Before we begin, let me introduce our speakers from tonight, starting with our first speaker. She has more than 7 years of working experience in the public development sector in the Philippines. She earned her bachelor's in development studies and master in public ad from the University of the Philippines, and she acquired her master's in development management from the Asian Institute of Management in 2017. Currently, she is working as a technical assistant at Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. And after graduation, she worked as a national consultant at the International Labor Organization. Since 2019, she started teaching NSTP at the De La Salle College of St. Benilde. Before studying at AIM, she has worked for several government agencies in different capacities and also volunteered since 2010 as a policy advocate and youth trainer of good governance, disaster risk reduction, and youth empowerment, including in the UN Major Group on Children and Youth, My World 2030 as ASEAN Youth Network on Disaster Risk Reduction, and the Committee on ASEAN Youth Cooperation Volunteer Network. So let us welcome Miss MK Marie Chris de Guzman. Good evening, ma'am.
Thank you, Raf. Good evening. Good evening also to our viewers tonight. Thank you for the kind introduction.
All right. For our next guest speaker, she claims that she's not an expert, but I believe she is on the development, but a development convert, applying what she have learned from her AIM journey to her work now in the projects and solving real problems as she worked closely with World Bank, DA, LGU, and the grassroots. She came from a private background as a corporate banker for a decade and made a paradigm shift towards in the development sector. As a newcomer, the development pursuits have been close to her heart ever since, and she has been doing community-driven initiative in her own little ways. The AIM MDM degree has been a strategic move to equip and inspire her for her journey. Her classmates being her second mentors, teachers, and her extended family until today. With a financial management background from her banking career and the cutting edge project management, leadership, strategies, systems thinking, operations management that AIM has taught her, it's a profound realization for her how you can strategically address poverty related problem with the management lens and approaches. Her advice for those who have the same background as hers or for those who are planning to make a giant leap in their career for her experience, AIM MDM, it's a worth it investment. So our second speaker, let us welcome Miss Andy Clavel.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Rap.
Okay, good evening. And lastly, but certainly not the least, our third speaker, a journey after graduating from AIM in 2017, had returned back to Zamboanga City and focused on the growth and sustainability of Al Husna Foundation Incorporated, investing primarily in education and community transformation. She is currently involved in ongoing peace and development talks in Mindanao. She regularly conducts online courses and gives motivational talks promoting Islam as a religion of peace and the productive way of life. So let us welcome Miss Noor Aini Lim.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Rap.
So yun, welcome everyone. To begin our discussion, our first question will be in your pre-MDM journey. So prior to coming to MDM, what were your handheld ideologies and beliefs in championing development, sustainability, equity, and inclusiveness? So anyone could begin, maybe Ma'am Andy.
Okay, Rap. So in my case, Rap mentioned that my classmates would call me like a development convert because I came from a totally different background. So I came from like a corporate banking career for like a decade. So it was really like a giant leap of faith when I enrolled in AIM Masters in Development Management. But I'm not a beginner in development pursuits. So even before AIM, even doing my private banking career or work, I've been doing like community organizing or doing volunteering works or community driven initiatives in my own little ways in the church, in my circle of friends. So in my case, it's been a dream to really, to go there to study, to equip yourself, and to expand your network in the development horizon. So for me, in my case, it's a long planning. So it took me like really how many years of thinking if it's worth it to quit my job, my career in the bank, and pursue what's something that you really wanted to do for a long time. So after all the planning, thinking, prayers, uh, of course, your financial capacity, you need to think everything. So in my case, I decided to like resign in my work, and then I need to do this. Otherwise, I might regret it in the future. So there's some burning uh, passion in your heart to really do something. You dream to make a dent in the world, or to change the world, or at least be an instrument to change. So that's something that is burning in me. So the MDM, the AIM MDM, I saw it as a good avenue for me to be to be uh, to refine or to equip me for all the tools that I need in the pursuit that I am trying um, to pursue. So in my essay, I remember I put there my preferred future. So I was a little dramatic there because while I'm doing my essay, I need to. It's like I really wanted to be there. So it's like a 1 month or 2 month, that I draft that essay, and yeah. So basically, coming from a private background, there are a lot of things that change when I studied in AIM, or during the study period, that 1 year. So it's really a change maker for me. So previously, the private background, and then AIM has equipped me of all the cutting edge tools that I need. It's a change. It's a great change in my life. So yeah, that's it. Wrap.
Okay, thank you, Miss Andy. We appreciate right now, especially the leap that you took from private sector to the public development sector. I feel you on that note. About Miss Marie Chris, Miss MK.
Yes, thank you, Raf. Actually, Andy's case, no, it's really one of the most inspiring stories in our class. No, kasi she has really like a very unique background because most of my classmates would come from government sector, NGO, and I myself also came from the public sector. So really, Andy, I mean, how she like really worked hard while we were studying, and now she's doing what she really loves now in the development work is something that's really heartwarming and inspiring and fulfilling. I hope not just to me but also to our audience. Um, so yeah, as I've mentioned, I came from the public sector, and based on your introduction, diba, I have like 7 years of experience. But that actually also only just demonstrates yung years that I've been there. But beyond that, I know for a fact that I need to learn more things about development work because it's such a development, it's such a complex system, no? When you do development work, it's very challenging. It's very complicated as well. So before AIM, I was working in the government sector. No? So I used to work in the National Youth Commission, DSWD, for example, and then also representatives. And my idea before is that after I graduated from college, my background was development studies. I really want to serve. No? So it's like my core ideology and values. Like I really want to serve. That was what I've learned in school. That was also what I've seen my parents who are also public servants, and even my grandparents are also public servants. So I think subconsciously I was able to that passion and desire to serve the public, you know, for the common good always. So I would say that that was my ideology. But the reason why I also joined government, and in particular, I also used to work for some politicians is because I've always seen politics or policies, you know, as tools for development. Diba? Kasi when we do when we have policies, these have a blanket effect, right? So I thought maybe we should I should try to help or contribute, no, towards developing good policies. Hopefully, in the desire to also achieve good governance. And and then in 2015, I was introduced to the Future Vision Leadership Program of AIM, which is actually my inspiration, or it actually um, inspired me to enroll at, because I've met there a lot of inspiring teachers, a lot of I also learned a lot, not only frameworks, no, but leadership values, skills, and I see AIM as a good training for not only for young leaders, no, but even old leaders, adults, because there's always new to learn when it comes to the development world, and AIM teaches us that the thinking process, the ways to approach development challenges. So there that's like a background of where I was before AIM. Thank you.
Noted on that, ma'am. I believe I had took note about the from a development worker to a development leader. We are for the trainings that we have. So how about Miss Noor? Miss Noor Aini.
Hi, Rap, and hi again to our audience. Um, for me, I reside in Zamboanga City, and AIM was a dream, to be honest. I was doing my research about how to further my studies. I took my bachelor's degree abroad, and I always wanted to look for something that would complement it in for my graduate studies. So I was trying to research some of the schools, and when I looked at AIM and the programs that they offered, the first degree that actually linear slant after my linear approach after my business degree. But then when I saw development management, that was what somehow attracted me into AIM, because that went hand in hand with what I was involved with, which was I was the principal of a private school back in Zamboanga City. And I was thinking to myself, how can I give more of myself? I felt like I needed more skills. I was more of a big picture kind of person, and I needed to refine my skill set in identifying objectives, getting there, knowing exactly the steps that I needed to take, what frameworks to do. I felt like that was the time where I needed to invest in myself to be able to also serve better. So when I enrolled in MDM, it was just what I was expecting. It actually exceeded my expectations. Not only were they accommodating with my faith, they had a prayer room, they had the facilities, but we even conducted, excursions to Marawi, and they even had, being only one of two students in the campus, we even had Ramadan iftar celebration. That was how amazing the harmony and diversity was in AIM. So that prior to entering, I've always wanted to touch base with, thinkers and people with great visions, with amazing extensive experiences, and that somehow, hopefully after this, I can also share with you when during AIM and after how it has affected me positively. So before AIM, I was already invested in education and propagating Islam as a tool for peace and development. I worked more than 10 years abroad after I graduated there. So AIM was just a natural leap forward for me.
All right. Thank you on that. Just to expound on that, guys, especially for those who had took the leap to MDM. So, on a more personal note, how are you on your maybe on your first day? What are the feeling when you enter AIM as as an MDM student? So, anybody could answer the question. Miss Andy, if you want to answer, yeah.
Okay. Uh, so I have a very clear what you call this sort of standing that I am unique, quote unquote. So I am anticipating that most of my classmates are really, way there. So they have been like working in the development sector, public servant, thinkers, um, consultants maybe. So they're way up there. So during my first day, or even before the class started, I was like feeling, oh, I'm nothing. Uh but I feel like I'm more of a like a child that there's this thing in me that I wanted to learn more, and I am very aware that my background is totally different. But later on, I realized uh, whatever your background is, it's not really, it's not totally different. So that's a process of learning while in AIM and maybe after AIM. So everything is not in vain. Even if you are a nurse or whatever background you have. In my case, my background is more into finance, banking. So I've been with the local big banks in the country, local and international banks. So that was my honest feeling before I started AIM. So after finishing all the papers and everything, so I was like feeling like a child, feeling wondering and always curious of things. So everything I really uh I'm all ears. I'm all ears, I'm all eyes. Even my heart and soul is open to absorb all the learnings from the professors. So of course I've researched about AIM when I was in college, when I was, working in the bank. So before I was thinking MBA, but when I really deep dive my heart, so it's really MDM. Uh, that's it. During the first class, everybody was like, in their professional attire. We are very neat and clean and fresh. we are ready to, I think everybody, we have the same what do you call this, we wanted to learn. And everybody is like, we acknowledge that we have different backgrounds. And I am very blessed in my batch that most of my classmates are really kind and humble, and even willing to share to me or in the class their rich experiences. So in my case, I am one of those I am like their student, their second student, without them knowing. So I absorb everything as much as I can, the professors. So I wanted to learn more what is really, what is really development. When you say development, it's a broad term. Before coming to AIM, it's like, UN, it's like ADB, it's like World Bank. But when you're there studying and really discerning what's development is all about, it's really beyond that. So those are like the big personalities, but when you really deep dive and learn from the professors, learn from the institution, learn from your classmates are really your first, in my case, I'm a big testament that my classmates are really my mentors and my friends and turned family as well. So you learn from each other, the diversity that you have within the classroom, and even within AIM, the MBA student. So it's a very very good training ground for us. For me, uh, as when you are starting, so I'd like to call my until now, I think I'm on the formative stage of my development journey. So I do not consider myself an expert actually yet. So I'm still there. I'm still trying to learn. So we are forever learning, right? So, and then at the same time, what's very unique right now, I have already like an avenue, a direct avenue for me to really apply all the concepts, all the training, all everything that I have learned in AIM.
All right. Transitioning to that, so during now on your journey that you go into AIM, how did MDM change your mindset and personal vision? What were the skill sets or frameworks that you have acquired from the program that has proven to be more effective in leading change in your current profession? Maybe we can start with Miss Aini with this.
Okay. I short of anything, I would say AIM, MDM was life changing. There's this thing wherein you know what to do, you kind of know your purpose, you kind of have an idea how you want to change the world. But MDM was just that missing ingredient that just pieced it all together. Like there was one part for bridging leadership that was so hard for me to do. And MK was my learning teammate. She knows how I struggled with this. It was just one question: what is your vision for yourself? And I couldn't answer it. We were supposed to give a picture to depict our vision, and mine was blank. I just realized how much reflection I needed, how much more diving, as Andy said it, I needed to really chart out what I wanted to do in life. We have a short life. We have to make it count. Every single day is needed. And being from someone who has gotten used to motherhood statements and world peace kind of thing, MDM just told me, showed me, exposed me to the people that I needed to bounce back ideas with, mentors who would, not hesitate to share their own experiences with you and guide you through your own personal process. And now you have this sense of confidence, and of course, fear is always there, but it's not anymore paralyzing to inaction. It's like the jump start that you needed at the time when I was second guessing where I should be and where I would be most impactful. So AIM in within the community itself, I think that's something that all of my respected colleagues here can attest to. There is just something special with that environment of tolerance, of accepting diversity. I remember Professor Mike Luz told me during the face-to-face interview, sabi niya pa, um, Aini, how do I address you? Because this is my first time meeting someone with a face veil. Can I actually talk to you directly? So these are some of the things that I thought would also be an impediment into entering AIM, but they were more than happy to accommodate me and actually um, gave me a space where I could be free, not just to practice, but to actually inspire others to see Islam as a vehicle of peace.
Thank you, Miss Noor. From personal transformation to becoming a bridging leader, that's a great topic po. Miss MK?
Yes. Thank you. I think the three of us here, no, are all like hardcore fans of bridging leadership. No, we really love Professor Nieves Confessor, and the value of the framework, no, as a guiding guideline for us also as development workers or leaders. When I was before I entered in, diba, I was a future bridging leader part of that program at AIM. And even before that, I was doing like different advocacies, no, with young people. And looking back, I think I jumped from one advocacy to another, no, and I was really like just naturally curious as well, trying things out. Okay, let's like do projects here and there. Let's do programs here and there. And I think after I studied at AIM, I also gained that discipline, no, to focus on whatever it is that you want to accomplish. When you study, you have that idea that you want to unlearn and you also want to relearn, right? So when we entered the IIM, at least for me, particularly interesting for me was how we were taught. No, first we worked with a learning team, and I think for the most part, no, it's also one of the challenging aspects, no, learning at AIM because you will really test their human nature, no? And it's really very important for you to manage your group mates or your teams and work with them well because when you go outside, you'll be dealing with different types of people. So there's a treasure trove of insights and experience when it comes to dealing with people, relating with people from that setup alone. And then, of course, the case-based methodology is also, I think, very unique for me, because um, in my university, for example, it's a bit traditional. No? At least during my time, I don't know if they have changed now, but it's really like lecture. No? Okay, so this is the theory, and then you have discussion. But the case-based methodology is really more interactive, values your participation, your input, and then you're also free to challenge each other, no, clash of ideas. These things are being facilitated because of the case based methodology, and you get to analyze a scenario, no, or a context from different perspectives. So of course, having learned different frameworks about bridging leadership, PESTEL, uh, systems thinking, design thinking. I think after that, no, I actually just stepped back and to some extent, no, I became more hesitant also. Na I think I have to really think through, no, if I want to do like another advocacy or if I want to venture into another like advocacy or campaign. So it builds in you that discipline also, no, because number one, we have to acknowledge that our time is limited. And then number two, we have to be precise also when it comes to our vision and what we wish to accomplish. And number three, we always have to aim for sustainability and scale. So for me, those three things are really important, no, and that those things are really what I remembered after AIM. So in a way, I became a bit refined, but also a bit hesitant and more strategic would probably be the best word for that. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you, Miss MK. So strategic development on becoming also a transformative bridging leader. How about Miss Andy, ma'am?
Oh yes, I agree with Aini and with MK. So AIM has really you know change you as a person, as a development professional or a development worker. So I think number one, mental model. So we keep on discussing this in the class, right? So what's your mental model? So it's really like your soul. So in AIM, it's they will question, or they will uh what do you call this, they will sort of like challenge you if your mental model or your value system uh is really, you really understand yourself, you really understand your mental model. Are you really, do you really know your value system? So that's, those stuff is really very hard and very, it takes time to, and strength, and to really get to know yourself. You deep dive on yourself. So it's a good learning experience when your mentors, your professors, and then your classmates would also, give inputs and ask the right question about your value system. So it's a great impact after AIM. So it would give you a very firm foundation of who you really are as a person, as a bridging leader later on. And it should be it's a very good foundation. So your mental model should be there. Second is the skill set, I think, the technical skill set. So AIM, I think, um they will teach you how to think. I think that's very, when some of my colleagues in the project would ask how AIM has changed you. Oh, AIM will not teach you concepts only, or theories about bridging leadership, about systems thinking. Those are big words, operations management. But the critical thinking part, that's, I think, what sets AIM apart from the rest. So they have this mechanism, like the case methodology that MK has shared. So it's a very good learning methodology to really challenge your thinking. So it's not just enough that you think, that way. So the people there will challenge you. They will question how you think, or they will really, even tell you that your kind of thinking is so shallow, or mediocre, or what. So that's a very good thing. Critical thinking, bridging leadership, negotiation. So 21st century skills, even in 2017 in our batch. So it's being instilled in our class. So having this, personal transformation. So you are somehow ready to face the world, or to face the real world, as soldiers of development. So in my case, I have, uh in the project that I'm working right now with World Bank, it's really, looking back, it everything has been put into use. So the skill sets, cutting edge technical tools that you have been thought of, equipped of, and challenged of. So everything is, put in use in the real, in the field that I am working right now.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So actually, that's gonna going to lead, ma'am, on our next topic. So could you guys share your own story of leading impact after you had graduated from MDM and your studies? How do you implement now those theories, those concepts, and especially the systems thinking that we are being taught into the real world context? So we could start with Miss MK.
Yep. Thank you, Arap. So after AIM, I think I was fortunate to have the opportunity to work in different organizations and still continue youth advocacy, through a new platform. So for my development work, I was involved in a project by the International Labour Organization, and it's a bit pioneering work because it's about teaching people about occupational safety and awareness, and also transforming them to become advocates of POSH, or occupational safety and health. And actually, right after AIM, all the theories and frameworks that I learned have been mostly applied to that work, because my task then was to develop a framework, and then a training capacity program. And I actually adopted also the bridging leadership framework because it's such a good framework that's applicable to almost any sector, private sector, public sector, non-government, all the tri-sectors. It's really applicable. So I tried to integrate also that framework in the training design, which we developed and applied, when I was working there. And then also for my work naman as a teacher, because I also teach NSTP, or National Service Training Program, which is about teaching civic consciousness and civic engagement. It's a great privilege to be able to shape minds of young people, to do service. And the good thing about NSTP zero, NSTP, because it has two components, there's theory and then there's also the practice, So all the concepts also about analyzing societal context can be taught in the theoretical part. Okay, and then also in the practical aspect as well. There's also huge learning that can be mined, from that part. So I think teaching, I also see teaching as planting seeds. So parang it's like I see myself as a farmer, and I'm planting seeds, in the minds of our students, in terms of valuing, service, or sharing a part of themselves for nation building, and which is also the core of the subject which I am teaching. So I think and right now also my work with the Food and Agriculture Organization has also allowed me not only to contribute but also learn, because it's been a huge learning curve also for me, because agriculture sector is very new to me, and the past few months I've been learning a lot about it. So in a way, I'm still like absorbing, in the absorbing mode, but also you're able to expand your horizon. And I think in the development sector, um, there's value in exposing yourself to different areas, whether it's agriculture, labor, political sector, disaster risk reduction, because in a way, I believe that we also need generalists who can integrate the different things, and that's where the value of systems thinking uh, comes in, when you're able to see the different dimensions in a development context. So yeah, that's a bit of my sharing, and I look forward to hearing also the journey of Aini and Andy.
Okay,
Thank
thank
you.
you, Miss MK. Miss Andy.
Oh, yes. Thank you, MK and Rap. So in my case, after AIM, so I did a series of short-term consulting with I have a short stint with UNICEF, DAP, Department of the Development Academy of the Philippines, and CARE International. But I think my work right now in the Philippine Rural Development Project, it's a World Bank project. This is I'm already like almost 3 years already in the project. So there's also beauty when you stay in the organization that you work with, although it's really and extremely challenging. But you can integrate, and you can, the perseverance and the beauty of perseverance is really amazing if you stick there. So anyway, in the project, the technical skills that you've learned in AIM, the one that MK and Aini has mentioned, systems thinking. So systems thinking is very beautiful in the project, because as a leader, or in my case, I'm the component head. So you do not just think in a corner, you do not compartmentalize the issue. So you always, there's this you're always aware and you're always conscious that you think, you see the bigger picture. So the systems thinking would teach us that in theory, but in the project I can really see how relevant it is as a development worker, or a leader, a development leader. So in terms of identifying root problems and providing strategic solutions to that particular specific problem, so the systems thinking is very, very relevant. Especially in the planning stage and in identifying and attacking problems. So when you plan, when you do your work and financial planning, let's say, or when you conceptualize a mechanism or something that, a strategy for the project, you incorporate systems thinking, you incorporate operations management strategy. So it's a holistic approach. So it's not just systems thinking itself. So everything is a package. So there's project management, there's strategic management. So when you plan, it's there. So you have that conscious that you need, you should do that. I mean, it's part of being strategic. So being an impact leader is being a strategic leader as well. So you don't just offer solutions, shoot arrows everywhere. So you have very limited time, resources, energy. So you need to be very strategic. So in the operation side, since I'm also doing field work, most of the time I'm mobile. I'm like 60 to 70% in the field, which I love most. I talk to the farmers, I talk to the beneficiaries of our sub projects. So I really love that part of my work when I visit their area. So I'm handling like 4 regions in our country. So I'm handling Cordillera, Cagayan Valley, Ilocos region, and Central Luzon. So when I visit them in the operation side, so the bridging leadership is there, very, very real. It's like, it's there. So I'm very, very I like that part of my work, that I talk to the farmers, to the grassroots people. I keep in touch with them and really listen to the needs and the problems and the concerns that they have in the ground. And as someone in the project support office, how you would, after you listen, so what now? What are you going to do with the things that you have heard of from them? So it's not enough that you hear them. It's not enough that like you saw them crying, so you should wipe their tears. So it's sort of that thing. You need to somehow use your position as somehow, not really to solve all their problems, but as your position to strategically address their problem. Also, I remember I was new in the project. So the project it's a huge project. You are interacting with a lot of stakeholders. You have World Bank, you have the Department of Agriculture as the implementing agency. You have the local government units, and you have the proponent groups, or what we call the farmers or the fisher folks. So it's a huge network, and the bridging leadership really has great use on my part on how to deal with different kinds of people. So especially when you are new in the project, so you just came in and people would really look down on you. Who are you? And what are you doing here? Uh, blah, blah, blah. So, but the bridging leadership has, I would remember the lessons from Professor Nieves, and the lessons from the professors and my classmates, their experiences. So it's really of good use for me especially the bridging leadership especially when you deal with people, and you have, and especially people with really extra grace personality. May it be especially with when you work with government. So, but it's all, it's beautiful when you use the tool, or when you use the concept in your real work, and how, the result of it, uh you have stayed, or what. So just to make the as long as you have one goal, shared goal, that you want this project to be successful for the intended farmer beneficiaries.
All right. Thank you for that, Miss Andy. Miss Aini, how about you? How did you implement what you have learned in AIM MDM to your personal advocacy after AIM?
To be honest, it's unavoidable. It's like every single opportunity you can insert what you've learned at AIM and how you conduct practically everything. That's how much of an impact it had in me, and how much I wanted to forward that impact in the communities and the people that I served. So internally within the foundation, every single program that we had, we needed to have a logical framework. We needed to talk to the community, and even before we even thought of the program, we had to speak to the intended audience or beneficiaries, and you would really see the importance of trust, building trust. Because, like, for example, the community that we first tapped were the IDPs, internally displaced people, displaced by the 2013 siege in Zamboanga City. So we had a concept in mind, but we wanted to talk to them first, and you could see that there was really a mistrust with any NGO or any group that goes to them, because their experience was, they were just used for a photo opportunity, and then maybe for getting donations, and they never hear from these people again. So that's where, I know it's been said before, bridging leadership framework, we implemented it on the ground. We designed the program using design thinking, like everybody was able to give their opportunity. And one thing AIM is going to tell you is, you don't know everything. You have to listen, because the people actually already know the solution, because they're living the problem. So that's one thing that we have implemented internally within the foundation. And we have varieties of programs to fit what the customer needs or what our audience needs, not what we want to give them. So that was, I think, MDM 101. It has to be according to the needs, okay? And you have to ask. Second, outside of the foundation, I've been engaging with different stakeholders in the peace and development process in Mindanao. So it also helps that, AIM, with its extensive network of graduates, of sponsors.
Miss Aini.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay. You can continue now, ma'am.
Yeah. So it also helped that the current secretary of the peace process right now is an AIM alum. So
Hello, Miss Aini. You're on mute po.
so according to with the peace process engagements that I'm in, it also helped that the secretary right now is actually an alum of AIM. So all these theories and frameworks, it's something, that's not new. It's something he's also doing. So it's very easy to engage, because not only is it now theory, but you get to implement it not only locally but nationwide. So every single activity I'm in, even if I'm just a resource speaker, no matter what, I tend to go back to AIM, the theories, frameworks, and then, because not just am I proud of it, I'm happy to be part of it, but it's also in appreciation to my proponent, uh, our previous president of Al Husna Foundation, who has moved on last March. So, you need people who believe in you, and you have to pay it forward and be of service.
Go, Aini.
Okay. We feel you, Ma'am Aini. We feel the passion actually as of the moment with regarding the development work and how we will move on as a development leaders after AIM MDM. As actually, I am also had graduated recently. So maybe before we end, because of the time considerations, do you have a like a parting words, or what are your advice to development professionals who may be watching us right now, and how to move forward, especially with uh, what we call the VUCA world, the uncertain world that we have as of the moment? So maybe we can have a small piece of advice for young development professionals or development professional that may be watching us as of the moment. So maybe we can start with Miss uh, MK. Maybe like a 1 minute or 30-second one. Thank you. A short one. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Pieces of advice would be, I think, on a very personal level. Number one, never stop learning. It's much. There's just so many things to learn, and the development context that we are in keeps evolving. Number two, those who serve others, must, and those who inspire others must also find time to inspire themselves, because being in the development sector can be very, very challenging, tiring, and draining. So always find that time to inspire yourself again, to go back to the, working and continuing and soldiering on. And I think third would be it, which is related also to number one, never stop learning. You always have to build yourself so you can also build others, because then you can give more, you can help more people, and you can contribute more to development. Thank you.
All right. Forward advice, Miss Andy, for development professionals.
Okay. So for the audience, or for the development professionals, or maybe potential students of AIM, so uh I guess what sets MDM apart, or maybe some students as well, we have this common thread that we are driven by purpose, or we have we wanted something just beyond ourselves, just beyond personal transformation, be this and that. We wanted to change something in our own capacity. So make sure that your value system is intact during AIM, after, especially after AIM. So when you're in the field already, when you're in the thick of things, doing things as a soldier of development, you might be carried away by the system, but your value system should be there, should be intact, and should really be your, when you pursue your purpose for the common good of the people. So it should be, you enroll yourself to online learning, and other materials. And be humble. Always be humble. So there are people smarter than you, especially when you are in the ground. You really need to listen and really see from your soul the need of the farmers. So it's not that you are smart enough, that you have studied in AIM or in Harvard or in wherever, but you need to have that heart of humility. Thank you.
Okay. Are you okay now, Miss Ain?
Yes, of
Any
course.
okay? Any piece of advice, ma'am, for the future development leaders?
Honestly, if you are in a situation where you don't know where you're going, or you feel unappreciated, you feel like you want to give up, you want to change, give yourself time to think and reflect, and really just try to see where you're going to be happy. Your heart, your heart is a major factor in determining your purpose, where you want to see yourself in a few years. So listen to your heart and really assess what you're good at and how can you improve yourself so that you would be a contributing factor towards development and to be the person who inspire others, share your vision, talk about it, because sometimes it's just because they don't know. You might think you lack support, but sometimes it's just because they don't know what your advocacies are or why you're so passionate about it. It's infectious, really. And don't think you're alone. Don't think you're alone. I know this field is challenging and there will be a lot of ups and downs, but so is anything great in this world. It's worth fighting for. So just don't give up, and I wish you all the best.
Okay. Thank you for your time tonight. Do we have any questions? For me, the opportunity right now is I would like to thank everyone, especially our wonderful speakers from MDM 2017 who had developed into a personally transformed leaders. As of the moment, we see from their journey coming from before their AIM journey, from their personal advocacies, taking huge leap moving forward from development into from the corporate to development work to the development world, from development worker to a development leader. So I would really thank everyone, especially our speakers, Miss Andy, Miss MK, and Miss Aini, for sharing their stories tonight. So, if there are no further questions, again, I would like to thank our speakers and Miss Giselle for assisting us and for their time and some few announcements for tonight. Um, Application for the MDM program, January 2021. Intake is currently ongoing. Those interested to enroll may apply through go.aim.edu/mdmportal, or you may email us at mdm@aim.edu. Then next po, we would like to invite you everyone to MDM's Impact Leadership webinar series on December 3 and 4, both at 6 p.m. and 7:30 p.m. You may register through go.aim.edu/impact leadership series to join and learn more about the Master's Development Management Program. So you may register at go.aim.edu/impact leadership series. So actually, the speakers from day one and day two are our esteemed professor, our interim school head in ZSDM, Prof. Jamu, Prof. Jamil Paulo Castro on day one. And on day two, it would be Prof. Richard Cruz, who is also as an associate professor that we have in AIM. And to stay connected with us, you may join the MDM online communities on Viber and Facebook group through the links you may find in the caption of this live stream post. Again, I would like to thank everyone for listening in, for those who have been tuning in with us this past hour. And I would like to thank our speakers for sharing their time and their experiences pre-aim and post-aim and during their journey in Asian Institute of Management. And I myself, as someone who had been through the journey also for the past year, I'm really excited on implementing what we have learned from systems thinking to bridging leadership to promoting leadership in the ground level, really hearing the stories of the people moving forward. So once again, thank you everyone for your time and have a good and restful weekend evening. Thank you everyone.
Thank you,
Thank you.
everyone.
Thank you.
We need to operationalize ideas. We have a lot of ideas to solve problems of the world.
How can we build and scale the new business models, products and services, marketplaces, partnerships, and alliances that will strengthen our resilience in the areas of food security, public health and wellness, education, and social cohesion and culture?